As we join Paul Daniels live at Halloween.
Stone me. Yes, ha ha, they've made me up as a Christmas pudding again. The BBC Globe is round, a Christmas pudding is round, so why not make it into a Christmas pudding? What a bloody hilarious BBC festive Christmas type of joke.
And now on BBC One, some more seasonal goodies from our Christmas stocking.
Not happy, you know.
So why don't we unwrap another cracker and see what's inside?
Why is it snowing on a pudding? When was the last time you saw a Christmas pudding covered in snow? It's stupid, mate.
Everybody conga, shake a my
no, here he is, pissed again.
Excuse me, officer. Where's BBC 2? I'm on the booth.
You're on the wrong channel, sir. Push off to Channel 4 and join the others.
I can't. I didn't make the grade.
I'm going to bed.
Oh, Mr. Grimsdale, I love you.
The game's at 6:25, before which, for better for worse, those once confirmed bachelors, Del and Rodney, now find their lives transformed by attachment. Only fools and horses.
And now it's all aboard a Hogmanay vehicle for Rabsy Nesbitt. Off to the Fit Bar.
A Life in Pieces begins Boxing Day at 9:50 on 2.
Now on BBC Two, a unique opportunity to feel, live and smell the raw edge of the rock world in Rob Reiner's affectionate, wry look at the comeback tour of the legendary Spinal Tap.
Now on BBC One, matchmaking of a different kind in EastEnders.
This is BBC Two, and now news.
Now on BBC One, the 9 o'clock news with Martin Lewis.
Sunday on One, and a take famous faces for Friday.
This Saturday, get ready for another awesome.
This winter on BBC One.
Galaxy this Saturday night on BBC One.
New drama on BBC One.
Y'all ready for this? Brand new comedy on BBC One.
Author Jung Chang relives the writing of Wild Swan.
The entertainment superhighway brings you Saturday night on BBC.
Family fun for Saturday takes off with Only Fools and Horses, then at 6:50. Saturday night on BBC One finds 8 more contestants vying for the chance to take the Conveyor Belt Challenge. It's Hello Wednesday on BBC One and goodbye television.
drama, new for 92 on BBC One.
Classic comedy this Tuesday on 1 with the return of Citizen Smith.
Noel provides addictive viewing this Tuesday evening at 7.
People will laugh at the most peculiar things.
The new season on 1.
Something to sing and dance about this Saturday on BBC One.
Saturday night on BBC One.
You'll love the new flavour of Tuesdays on BBC One.
Saturday night on BBC One. Saturday on BBC. Saturday evening on BBC One.
Now on to comedy of the highest order with Stan and Ollie about to get themselves
this week's Front Gardens, the last in the series, Gay Search invites Robin Williams to turn a concrete desert into a beautiful, low-maintenance garden.
Now on to, we continue our season of films made in Japan with a true story of the conflict between honour and loyalty in 16th century feudal Japan. Rikyu.
New for you on 2.
In a history.
Of the exam process for doctors-to-be. Monday at 8 on 2.
Monday night on BBC 2. New from Jennifer Saunders, tomorrow at 9 on 2.
We're now in the approach phase, everything looking good.
New from Jennifer Saunders, tomorrow at 9 on 2.
Fabulous, darling.
Thank you.
Suggestion. What would be the point?
Have I got cheese at New?
Coming soon to BBC.
Friday on 2.
Now we join an ancient adventure filled with rotten Roman rascals and gallant Gauls and follow the antics of Asterix in Britain. Here on BBC Two, as a climax to the series of carols from Devon, A Prayer for a New Mother.
Now on BBC Two, bell-bottoms, tank tops and loons. And that's just what the presenters are wearing. Wince once more as we travel back to 1973 in our perfect Christmas for the Top of the Pops Christmas special. And now, after Christmas lunch, settle down to a perfect Christmas movie for a perfect television Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. James Stewart plays a man who believes the world would be a better place if he'd never lived. But it's Christmas, and heavenly help is at hand. And now our perfect Christmas on 2 takes us to 1974 and a familiar junkyard somewhere in West London. Christmas is coming and Harold is already thoroughly fed up with the festivities. A venerable institution of Christmas past returns at 6 o'clock. Turkey sandwiches, Christmas cake, cups of tea and Christmas night with the stars. For 15 years it was a British tradition to curl up on Christmas night with the stars of that year's BBC variety. For a perfect Christmas we've unearthed a choice example from 1964, hosted by Britain's favourite copper, Jack Warner. Now, The Evacuees, the tale of two Jewish schoolchildren packed off to stay with a strange family during the war, originally shown on Christmas Day 1975. Classic family drama for a perfect Christmas, here on 2. In an hour in our perfect Christmas here on 2, a rare chance to see some vintage Hancock. First, a compilation of the very best of the Morecambe and Wise Christmas shows. First, Christmas in East Cheam, a rare festive episode not seen since 1958 of Hancock's Half Hour. Every perfect Christmas draws to a close with a chilling ghost story, so BBC Two has dug up one of the most eerie from the archive vaults. From 1976, starring Denham Elliott, The Signalman. Now on to a classic movie to end our classic television Christmas, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Private Eye Philip Marlowe puts together the pieces of a complex mystery in The Big Sleep.
A very good morning to you and welcome to our programmes on BBC One. But just before we start, on behalf of everyone at BBC Television, we'd like to wish you a very happy Christmas. So now we begin by unwrapping a bumper package of programmes for our younger viewers.
Now on One, we're about to enter the twilight zone of Gotham City.
Now on One, to take us through into Christmas Day, we go to Southwark Cathedral for our Christmas Eucharist, introduced by the Bishop of Woolwich, the Right Reverend Peter Hall.
BBC Wales on One. Now, if you go down to the woods today, careful, because you might be trampled on by Bigfoot.
Talking Rembrandt, now on to another personal view of one of his best-known works.
And on the trail of One World, here on BBC Two, the first...
Rain or shine, you can always depend on the weather as a good conversation opener. Now on BBC Two, we begin a whole evening dedicated to that great British preoccupation. First, BBC Two commissions a designer interior to provide the setting for tonight's an exclusive world premiere on BBC Two now, with the concert recorded earlier this evening. Mike Oldfield performed.
Now, Richard Attenborough's all-star screen version of Oh What a Lovely War.
This is BBC Two. Now, lock the door.
A year ago, almost to the day, Hyacinth was busily keeping up appearances and preparing for the Christmas festivities. This is what happened next. Well, now on One, Steven Spielberg brings his magic touch to the world of animation in a colourful story of a homeless dinosaur.
The thrills and spills of the 1992 British Touring Car Championship are relived now on 2, complete with cutthroat competition and controversial conclusion. Highlights of the motor racing event second only in popularity to Formula One, introduced by Steve Ryder.
But first, hot breath and cold print. Tall, dark, handsome strangers, petite blonde heroines and prolific writers reveal the secrets behind a successful Mills and Boon romance.
This is BBC Two, Born Again for Birth Night.
So now, to begin the Crime and Punishment season on BBC Two, 7 people involved with the criminal justice system explain why, for them, it's failed.
Now, from BBC Two's Crime and Punishment season, Shaw Taylor hosts an entire evening dedicated to cops on the box.
Let's go back to 1966 for the first episode of that legendary drama series, Adam Adamant Lives.
And it's another imaginary world that concerns the chief political commentator of The Independent, Andrew Marr. This is his personal view.
This is BBC Scotland on 1. And with Christmas only 25 minutes away, we now join the congregation at Northleith Parish Church for our watch night service.
You may have spent some of this morning looking into a stocking or pillowcase. Well, now on BBC Two, we continue our animated 2 season by offering you the chance to look inside the wrong trousers and the work of Oscar-winning animator Nick Park.
First, continuing our animated two-season Creature Comforts, as Wallace and Gromit set off on what promises to be a grand day out of this world.
Having reached the big 3-0, it's only fitting that one of BBC Two's first controllers, David Attenborough, looks back at the last 3 decades to see how his baby has grown.
You're watching BBC Two. Night School TV continues with personal, health and social education with 3 new programmes on interpersonal skills in the office from Skillbank. There's also 4 short case studies of young people in a variety of jobs talking
As the spectacular impacts of the Shoemaker-Levy comet continue, BBC Two presents a series of short animations over the next 5.
November the 9th marks the 5th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall and the ensuing collapse of communism in Eastern Europe. The first in...
Well, now on BBC One, let's see if it's time to dust off a certain Bing Crosby classic. Here's Bill Giles with the weather.
A very happy Christmas to you all, and good morning from BBC One. We begin our Christmas day with Zoe Ball and Chris Jarvis and Children's BBC.
BBC One from a secret location deep beneath Television Centre. We join Terry Wogan, who's about to reveal more of those embarrassing moments that some performers would rather forget.
The news in the southeast now on BBC One with Rob Curling.
Now on BBC One, if you're expecting peace and goodwill in Chigwell, dream on.
First on BBC Wales on One, there's trouble at the North Pole, where Dudley Moore's causing Christmas chaos in Santa Claus the Movie.
Now on BBC Two, from one of Europe's most adventurous choreographers, Maggie Morin, a modern adaptation of a ballet classic set around the grey high-rise estates of Lyon. Copalia.
And it's World Cup football now on BBC Wales on One, introduced by Bob Wilson.
A very good evening to you and a warm welcome to the BBC's all-night educational programmes, The Learning Zone.
A bumbling detective at work in the first of our stocking fillers here on BBC One, the comic genius of Peter Sellers as Inspector Clouseau. We go live to West Yorkshire for the last in the series of special services for Advent, The Promise of His Glory.
Noel Edmonds picks some favourite moments from his Christmas shows in 15 minutes here on BBC Wales on One. Before that, the lunchtime news with Jenny Bond.
Before that, adventure from the 21st century at the Space Precinct.
Otis is here now with our Christmas Eve children's BBC.
Before that, for Boxing Day morning, BBC One sets off to find a better life for Fievel, an American Tale 2.
BBC One now is at the Royal Albert Hall with Michael Ball, Ben Kingsley, Cleo Lane and a cast of 300 in the traditional Christmas pageant, Joy to the World.
Somewhat smaller in scale are the mice about to descend on BBC One now as special guests of Peter Rabbit and Friends.
Only the very best film comedy to take us into the early hours of Boxing Day now on BBC Wales on One. Peter Sellers is the seemingly indestructible Inspector Clouseau. A pause for reflection now on BBC Wales on One with a modern slant on the story of the Nativity.
Now on BBC Two, a journey to Antarctica and into the minds of the early explorers fascinated by the icy wilderness.
This is BBC America.
First on BBC One, the main evening news and sport with Michael Berg and Helen Rollison.
Collaborated with students of Yale College, Wrexham. In 1408, a law was passed decreeing that all manner of Welsh persons should be expelled from Chester after sundown. How much has changed in 1997 for a young Wrexham football fan?
Now on BBC Two, seems like blondes have more fun.
And with us already into the small hours of Christmas morning, it's time for BBC Two to take a quick break. BBC News 24, though, will keep you up to date on BBC One through the night. If you've just got in from a Christmas Eve party, then I hope it was a good one for you. And if you've just got
An afternoon of sport begins now on BBC Two, Sunday Grandstand with John Inverdale.
Now on BBC One, the lunchtime news with Moira Stewart. Of lightning sends robot number 5 AWOL with a childish taste for mischief. Now on BBC One, madcap misadventure in short circuit.
Patching up the casualties of love and war now on BBC One. To Holby, Ian.
First on BBC Two, it takes a tough nut to crack a kernel.
First on BBC Two, Christmas isn't Christmas without the puddings.
The Men in Glasses bring us a whole heap of festive cheer now on BBC One Wales. We're laughing all the way with the Two Ronnies Christmas show.
BBC One Wales. From Tokyo to Timbuktu, you can't beat a quiet family Christmas in Albert Square.
Over to Erinsborough first on BBC One, where Ruth's got itchy feet.
Eye-popping comic adventure for BBC One now. Jim Carrey is about to go green with excitement thanks to the mask. And little ones beware, it can be a bit scary in the world of weird animation.
Tonight on BBC One.
The Tuesday night film, first on BBC One, starring Harrison Ford and Willem Dafoe. In the wake of murder, a mission from the President means there is clear and present danger.
Oi! Keep that swerving down. We're trying to watch a bloody film here.
In the week in which Godzilla is set to make a terrifying return to British cinemas, welcome to a monster night of entertainment on BBC Two.
This is BBC One.
This is BBC One.
Ouch!
First on BBC One, put them together for Ben Elton.
Controversial as ever, first on BBC One, adult observations from Ben Elton.
Raising a laugh and no doubt a few eyebrows now on BBC One, lippy stuff from Ben Elton.
Your undivided attention now, please, for BBC One's very own Shock Jock.
This is BBC One.
Auntie has some spanking new bloomers, and Terry Wogan gets a peek on BBC One in half an hour. Christmas Day in the Square first. Lunch could be some time.
And now our Christmas morning movie. Kris Kringle really thinks he's Santa. Well, who's to say? But maybe he can work miracles.
50 minutes. Before that, on BBC One, there's a new Spice Girl in town, French and Saunders.
Well, we open the BBC Two archives now to celebrate some classic sporting moments seen here over the last 50 years.
Launching the BBC's Millennium programmes now on BBC Two, and Horizon Special focuses on a real challenge.
You're watching the best of BBC Comedy, a hilarious compilation prepared exclusively for readers of the Sunday People. We hope you enjoyed this selection of the best from BBC Comedy, specially compiled for the readers of the Sunday People. Why not watch them in full with your very own collection of BBC Comedy videos? Available from all good video retailers.
Recalling personal stories of wartime heroism, when Britain's darkest moment became its finest hour.
Chasing the eclipse across the globe now, BBC One pays its last visit to Cornwall for the day's highlights with Michael Burke.
Jam-packed and foil wrapped for freshness, this is BBC Knowledge. Welcome to today, Thursday the 24th of June, 1999. Now on BBC Knowledge, with something fishy going on, here's Dynamo. This is BBC Knowledge, and this, bad jokes and all, is Dynamo. Now on BBC Knowledge, from small acorns, the odd remarkable tree. You're watching Science on BBC Knowledge with Moments of Genius. Now on BBC Knowledge, decisions to make or avoid about work in Life Stuff. What?
This is BBC Knowledge, Seeing Salvation.
You're watching BBC Knowledge.
What is billionaire Sheldon Adelson's extraordinary quest? Find out in the mission after Tools of the Trade. Andy follows his passion and Vanessa continues her campaign. Life Stuff in 50 minutes after one man tries to make his dream come true on BBC Knowledge.
And now BBC Two is proud to present An Evening of Monty Python.
Thank you. And now for my next number, I shall be using the services of Tiddles. No, come on, no, can't get in, Frank. Oh, no, out of me, out of me. It's not fair. What? It's not fair. What isn't? They always get to be BBC One.
We're just as good.
But they are BBC One.
Well, only because they say they are. I mean, we should be BBC One sometimes.
Yes, thou turn. All right. This channel is now BBC One
For the rest of the evening.
and tomorrow. So, despite what they're saying over on BBC One, on BBC Two, this is BBC One.
And as part of the Monty Python 30th anniversary celebrations here on BBC One, we are proud to present Monty Python's Life of Brain. On BBC Two, a chance for you all to vote on your all-time favourite comedy show. Just phone the number if one of these is your favourite show. And now, comedy shows made before John Burt was Director General.
BBC One's season of Michael Caine films continues now with plans for a new business venture and some great ways to avoid a traffic jam, The Italian Job.
Now on BBC One, the news in Northern Ireland in Newsline from Work or Others.
Is love off the menu for Bryn? Dinner ladies here on BBC One Scotland in half an hour after Christmas at the airport.
The Christmas Day BBC News now on BBC One Wales with George Alagaya.
Granville has his eye on a lady in open all hours in half an hour on BBC Two. First, our afternoon classics comedy fest begins with Just Good Friends, feeling the heat on holiday.
This is BBC Two, Seeing Salvation.
Velez's Eye on a Lady in Open All Hours in half an hour on BBC Two Scotland. First, our afternoon classics comedy fest begins with Just Good Friends, feeling the heat on holiday.
BBC Two Wales live at Westminster now for a new week of the Daily Politics with Joe Coburn.